Good day, good people. How are you doing today? My name is Makeda Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I'm live on my Instagram page. I will save it and repost it to my YouTube, so make sure you follow me in both places. In case you're unfamiliar with me, I have a background in exercise and sports science, nutrition science, and currently working on a Master of Science in Medical Cannabis Science in Therapeutics. And I've committed my life to studying all the ways that we can take our body to its highest level. Okay, so I'm a health science nut. Okay, health science nerd. Let me say that. Okay, health science nerd, and I'm very passionate about, bringing the body into alignment naturally. Okay, because it only happens naturally. It's not going to happen with the fake shit. Okay, so I want to talk about fibroids today. Okay, I want to talk about women's womb health. Okay, fibroids. So those of you who have been following me throughout the years, you have seen, there's different phases, in the past 20 years of things that I've focused on. And from about 2007 until maybe 2014, I was heavily, maybe 2007 to let's say 2016-ish, okay? I was heavily focused on on womb health, okay? The vaginal health, womb health. And I studied a lot on my own, but I also had an amazing, at first I started off teaching a class called Sensual Strength Training to women, where they were using crystal and stone eggs, okay, that some people call them yoni eggs. When I first started working with them in 2005, they were called jade eggs because they were made from jade. And then on my own, I started to experiment with different stones. I started to teach women. Some people started calling them yoni eggs. I call them nani eggs now, okay? Because nani stands for puanani, which is the Hawaiian word for sacred flower. I like to stick with my indigenous language, so I call them nani eggs, right? But nani eggs, yoni eggs, jade eggs, they're crystal stone eggs that women have worked with throughout the world. And I was supposed to write a book on this years ago because I'm a researcher and there's a lot of things that I uncover that other people don't. So I was going to write a book on this years ago. It's time for me to get my books written. But anyhow, I taught this class, and the class was partially women working with these eggs in their vaginal canal to get not just strengthen their vaginal muscles, but have more control, more sensitivity. It helps to dispel trauma, helps to prepare for childbirth, recover from childbirth, a whole bunch of things, right? And my class involved that along with teaching women how to strength train, okay? Why it's important, how to do it correctly. Because that also affects your hormones. Our muscles are endocrine organs, and so is fat, okay? And so strength training can help balance your hormones, increases testosterone. But then when we move our hips and we have orgasms, that increases our estrogen, right? And the other part of the class was using dances from the African diaspora, particularly in the Americas and the Congo, that involved intense hip movements. So dances from Brazil, from Haiti, from Colombia, from Dominican Republic, from Atlanta, whatever, that involve intense hip movements to get women to connect to their hips, which is important for childbirth, it's important for sex, it's important for your health, okay? Most of our blood flow runs through our hips. So that's what my course was about. Then around 2013, I met an amazing woman named Pakizani, okay? Every woman should know her. Every woman should follow her, okay? I don't know. I'm very picky about who my teachers are. I'm very picky about who I endorse. I do not jump on bandwagons, okay? I do not jump on bandwagons. All of the Afro-American people who are so-called Afrocentric, which I have to put in quotes, and then they on the Sebi. I'm not going to call him Dr. Sebi because he wasn't a doctor of anything. He wasn't even a Bush doctor. He was a total fraud, okay? But people jumping on this Sebi bandwagon, the Layla Africas, frauds, and more frauds. They were sickly. They were fraudulent. They looked sick. I did a video a few years ago on why Sebi was a fraud. I'll do it again if I need to because I don't respect him. I never respected him. No, okay, at all. Now, the Afrocentric Afro-Americans who jump on those bandwagons, I never jumped on those bandwagons, okay? I'm very picky. Luckily, I'm smart and I have good critical thinking skills, something a lot of people lack, okay? So Pakizani, she is a Mexican-American woman who's in Long Beach. She's also known as Indigimama. If you want to find her on Instagram, it's Indigimama or Indigiscuela, okay? Because she has a whole school now. But it was from her, okay, that I learned about the importance of the placement of the uterus, okay? I remember in, 2011, okay, and it's not that I even want to talk about this a lot to bring it up, but this is part of my story. 2011, I gave birth to a son who did not make it. And after that, I remember my uterus just felt like it wasn't in the right place, okay? My body felt off. And like back then, nobody was talking about these things. It was not, but I just knew like my body, I'm very connected to my body. It didn't feel right. And I learned about Mayan abdominal massage. There's a woman who teaches Mayan abdominal massage. I forget her name now. I can't remember. But she had practitioners, and that resonated with me that, okay, the uterus needs to be perfectly centered or it can cause a lot of issues. But her practitioners were all older white women, and it just didn't sit with me because it's a practice that came from Mayans, and I'm like, I'd rather study with indigenous people. Then I came across Pakizani, okay, Mexican-American woman from Long Beach, California, and she was teaching a class called Matrizi Concha, okay. I was actually in Long Beach. I was in LA visiting my childhood best friend. Pakizani was doing a workshop, Matrizi Concha, okay. Matrizi Concha, that means womb and vagina. Matriz is matrix, the womb, okay. The woman's womb is the matrix. Then you have Concha. Concha is like the conch shell, okay? What does the conch shell look like? Vagina, right? So the class Matrizi Concha is about the woman, the vagina. And she taught about how in Mesoamerican medicine, like Western medicine says that if a woman's uterus is tilted to the left or tilted to the right or tilted back, that's fine and normal. And she's like, according to Mesoamerican medicine, that's absolutely not true. It's not fine or normal, okay? Just because it's common doesn't mean that it's normal, okay? And there's a lot of consequences, negative health consequences a woman can suffer when her uterus is not perfectly centered, okay? And she also taught vaginal steaming, which in the Mesoamerican Mexican tradition is called bajos, okay? But every culture had some type of vaginal steaming. Some people call it yoni steaming, but every culture has some history of it. And castor oil packs, okay, castor oil packs, which are critical. If a woman has any type of cyst, fibroids, tumors, growths, scar tissue, and it's not just for women, anybody can use that on any part of their body where they have those issues, okay? I have a video where I talk about why castor oil packs should be a part of your healthcare, self-care regimen, because it has so many applications. I did a YouTube video on that. You can go back and check it. But she was teaching about castor oil packs and also using clays, right? And I just really aligned with her in a lot of ways because, like, for me, I don't wear heels, okay? I'm anti-heels. Unless somebody's paying me money, I'm not putting on no heels. But I didn't wear heels because I knew it was bad for your knees. I always thought about longevity. I always thought about how I want to age. I always thought, like, because women in my family who wore a lot of heels in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, I don't know, they all had bad knees and backs. And so I'm a dancer. I always want to be able to dance. I want my body to be intact. It's not just about looks, it's about function. I don't want bad knees and a bad back and all this stuff. So I didn't do heels because I know it's not good for you, right? But she was anti-heels because she said it's bad for your uterus. That women wearing heels can dislocate her uterus. And I'm like, wow, there's certain exercises that I didn't teach as a trainer because I am a trainer. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. I'm a USA Olympic weightlifting coach. I have a degree in exercise science and sports science. One of the reasons that I'm very picky about the exercises that I give people. I'm not a regular trainer, okay? Regular personal trainers, they just work out for numbers or lose some weight, look a certain way. A strength and conditioning coach, we are geared more towards function, okay? Function, not just, let's just lose weight. No, let's run faster. Let's fix these. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So what are the weakest links? Let's strengthen them. So we can increase performance and decrease injury. So strength and conditioning is more about performance than just a look, right? So our approach to the exercises that we use, I look for the most efficient exercises. There's a lot of exercises you can do for your abs, but how many of them, what are the most efficient ones? What are the most efficient ones for your glutes, for your hand? That's my approach, okay? So there were exercises I didn't give my clients because I felt like they didn't make sense, I didn't think they were efficient. They didn't have a purpose. They didn't make sense. And my friend Pakizani, She didn't give these exercises, same exercises, but she said, oh, it could dislocate a woman's uterus, okay, if she does these exercises, especially if she doesn't have a certain level of internal strength developed around these muscles. And so we did videos about this, like 2013, that's 10 years ago now, damn. We did videos because she and I taught retreats and stuff in Costa Rica. I'm not going to get super into that because I'm going to get back to the fibroid thing. But she's the truth, okay? And I could do a whole video, and maybe I will, just about why I love this woman so much and why she's the truth. I don't know anybody like her. I don't know anybody that has her skills. And you have got to know this woman, okay? So I studied with Pakizani for some years. I took her Matriz Concha class a few times. I took her Sobadas. She has another class called Sobadas. Sobadas is womb massage, okay? It is the Mesoamerican womb massage. And I always call her a chiropractor. A womb chiropractor is what I call her. Because she will palpate. In her Sobadas class, she teaches women how to palpate, how to know, like, okay, where's your uterus supposed to be, your ovaries, your fallopian tubes, your bladder, you know, and how to feel them, how to feel where they are, how to know if they're in the right place, okay, so where they're supposed to be, so how to feel them, what does your ovaries feel like, and what does your uterus feel like, and how do you locate them, where are they supposed to be, and if they're not in the right place, how do you move them into the right place? So that's what she would teach in her Sobadas class. But she also would do one-on-one sessions with people, okay? She's worked on me. I have not only seen her work on other people, but I have assisted her on, you know, there are many people that I assisted her working on. And in watching her, I never saw her work the same way. I never saw her work with any woman the same way twice, okay? And she does things that chiropractors do, like closing of the hips. Acerrar las caderas. Acerrar las caderas. That is the closing of the hips. It's another class that she has, right? Talking about closing of the hips. And this is for after childbirth. Women's hips are open. They need to be closed, okay? This goes beyond the fajas and stuff like that, right? So, a lot of things that she does, chiropractors do. And she told me one time she worked with a chiropractor, and they're like, oh, we do these things. I have seen her do things. I'm just trying to tell you, like, she's not the kind of person that can just train anybody to do what she does, okay? I can't do what she does. She's like a high level, okay? And she's also an herbalist, but she's the type of herbalist that can communicate with plants, okay? True herbalists can communicate with plants, and I've seen her do it. I've seen her do it in Costa Rica. I've seen her do it right here in the streets of Chicago, okay? So one of the reasons why she says Chicago is one of her favorite cities, even more so than New York, my hometown, was because, she said she loved the fact that there was so many herbs. Yeah, she is a gift. There's so many rarely usable herbs growing in the streets of Chicago. They don't tell you that. They only want to tell you people get shot. But Chicago is a beautiful city. Absolutely beautiful city. Chicago has my heart, okay? But there's a lot of flowers and herbs growing here. And she said in LA, the herbs are for show. They're not really usable, right? Somebody just asked me for her handle. I did say it earlier, but her handle on Instagram is Indigimama, okay? Indigimama, which is INDGIEMAMA, Indigimama. I'll put it below. And the other one is Indigiscuela, okay? Because she has an online school. When I met this woman, she had 2 kids. Now she has 4. She gave birth to 3 of them by herself. Like, she didn't have a midwife, okay? Like, she's the truth. When I tell you she's the truth, she's the truth, all right? And she's absolutely hilarious and ratchet. I love her, okay? I will fight somebody for this woman, okay? So, going back, yes. So, I would see her. I remember one time watching her. Thank you, Het, for posting her. I remember watching her, like, okay, when we were in D.C., this is like a decade ago, and she worked on 3 women, right? I'm assisting her. And one of the women said she had back pain, right? And so before Pakizani worked on her, and when she got up, the woman was like, oh, my back pain is gone. But the next 2 women didn't mention back pain, but after Pakizani worked on them, and it's like a 2-hour session, okay? After Pakizani worked on them, and they got up, they said their back pain was gone, that they had had for years, that they had had since they gave birth to their child. And these women, and as a trainer, I'm going to tell you that women don't complain that much. There are a lot of women who will walk around, especially mothers, with extreme discomfort and pain from stuff that has happened to their body from childbirth, and they don't complain. Okay.